This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. So today we are starting with the Azure Data Flows introduction. So what is Azure Data Flows? What is Azure Data Flows? Anybody have any idea?
It's a transformation techniques.
Okay, what is transformation?
Transformation means you need to, let's say, if you want to union some sources or join some sources, or if you want to split based on conditions.
Correct.
So all this transformation. Yeah.
Okay. See, if you remember when we started the first session, we discussed about how to collect the data. Similarly, so today when we are starting data flows, we need to once again go back to the how we are getting the data, how we are getting the data into the databases or storages.
Through websites.
From websites. Example, if you take IRCTC for booking any train, okay, net banking, okay, Flipkart, Amazon, okay, and so on. Lot of websites will be there, right? So basically, you will use these websites to provide your details, and you will make some kind of a transaction, all those things. Let's say sometimes what happens, you will in Amazon, let's say you have placed a order. So due to some issues, what happens, order says, so order will not display the order is successful, but back end order is successful. Again, you placed the order. Now what happens if you place the same order two times? Same order two times, if you place, what happens?
Order will be duplicated.
So order will be duplicated. That is the first thing. So you may get the duplicate data. Okay. Next, let's say at address column, so phone number is the key, but you have not given the phone number. Okay, you have not given the phone number. So what you want to do is phone number is went as a null. So maybe let's say phone number column is null. So this is a wrong. Basically, these two are wrong. So you have a duplicate data. Phone number is column is null. Phone number you have not provided. So all this is the bad data. Now what you want to do? So using the some kind of a tool or service, you need to remove the duplicates. Okay, wherever you have a phone number is null, so you need to update that phone number with the correct phone number. Instead of the null, you need to correct the correct phone number. Everybody understood till here? Any questions still here? Check whether clear.
Please repeat again.
What? Ashwita, clear?
Yes,
Malaya, it's clear.
Okay. So now what happens? This is a duplicate data, and this is phone number is basically a null. Okay. And along with that, let's say in the future you may need to, you are getting same data. Let's say you are getting a customers, okay, from India. So currently they are maintaining this India customer details in this separate SQL server, and customers, not only customers, so all the business data, all US data in one SQL server. Okay, all the US data in one SQL server, all India data in one SQL server, and all UK data in another SQL server. All UK data in another SQL server. Now my question is, let's say, see, all India data in one SQL server, all US data in one SQL server, all UK data in one SQL server. Now business is decided to bring entire data into a one Azure SQL database. So what they decided is, they decided to bring all India, US, UK data into a single table in the Azure SQL database. What you need to do now? You need to read the data from this. You need to read data from this. You need to read data from here. You need to apply union transformation. Okay. Similarly, some business will take a different decisions. So it will be difficult to manage all countries' data in a single database. So whatever data is there in the same database, that data they want to split by country. By country, they want to split the data. They want to write India data separately, US data separately, UK data separately. Based on each country, they want to maintain a differently. All India data in one SQL server, all US data in another SQL server. So like that, they wanted to save. So here basically you are splitting the data, you are unioning the data. Here you want to do some kind of a duplicate, you want to remove, you want to check the null, okay, null columns you want to filter out. And let's say, so now there is a store, okay. So Flipkart store, let's imagine Flipkart store, which is in Hyderabad, let's imagine for now. Okay, I'm talking about Flipkart store which is there in Hyderabad, and the Flipkart store which is there in a Bangalore, Mumbai. Like this, there are 3 stores available for me. So I'm saying there is laptop sold from this, cost is 1000 rupees. So again, mobile is sold 2000. Okay. So from Bangalore, let's imagine there is a TV you have sale and it's basically 1500. Okay. From Mumbai, let's say anything, you can just say book. Some kind of 2000. Okay, like this. Now business want to know how much is the collection from each store. Can you tell me what is the collection? What is the total amount collected from each store? Can you all tell me? Can you all tell me the total amount collected by each store? Hyderabad 3000.
3,000 for Hyderabad, Bangalore 15,
And
Mumbai
Mumbai is 5,100.
7,100.
700.
Hey, 5,100. Mumbai.
Yes.
So Mumbai 7,100. Okay, clear? So now what you need to understand, laptop, mobile TV and so on. So now let's say business, sometimes business want to calculate by store sales. Okay, sum of sales happened by by store. Okay, sum of sales happened by store. So you need to do some kind of aggregations. So basically you need to group these two. Okay, and you need to submit. You need to just take this and submit. You need to just take these three and you need to submit. Clear? Everybody is clear till here. So
Yes.
basically all these things we can able to do it using the data flows. Okay, normal ADF activities you can use just to normal ADF activities you can use to move the data from cloud to cloud or on-premise to on-premise, how to do the full load, how to do the incremental load, okay, how to handle some kind of a failure scenarios, how to set up the alert email notification. So these are the few things that we will do with the normal activities. But with the data flows, we can able to do all these kind of transformations. Transformation means your input data not equal to output. Okay, always remember input is not equal to output. It is not guaranteed that your input will be equal to the output. Input 99% your input is not equal to output, meaning if you take 100 rows, it's not guaranteed that 100 rows will go into your target. First thing. Okay. Second thing is source side. Let's say you have 10 columns. Sink side you may have a more than 10 columns or less than 10 columns. Okay. So that's why always input is not equal to output in the data flows. Fine. What are the main components that we need to talk about in the data flows? Yes. For data flows also we may need linked service, data sets, activities, pipelines, integration runtime, okay, triggers, transformations, data flow, debug. So these are the some of the important components with respect to the data flow. So let's talk about one by one activities, one by one component. What is linked service? Linked service. Let's say I want to read data from one of the database. What you will do? First, you need to connect to your database. So to connect to any database or storage, we need to use a linked service. Linked service is nothing but a connection string to our source and sink. You just connected. Now you want to read out of 100 table, you want to read a particular table. So data set is a reference point to data which we want to read or write. Okay, data set is nothing but a linked service you use it to connect. Now data set is basically used for selecting which data you want to work on. Out of 100 tables, you are selecting particular table to work on. Next, activity. Activity is nothing but a, let's say you have written all this transformation logic in the data flow. That transformation logic, if you want to execute, you need a task. You need a task. So activity is a kind of a, it's task to execute your data flow. So data flow job. So to execute your data flow job, we need a activity. It is a task to execute your data flow job. Next, pipeline. Pipeline may have its a set of activities, or group of activities which you can execute parallelly or in sequence. Sequence means one task you will complete first, then you will run another task, then another task. That is one way. Second way is run all the tasks at once. So if you want to decide whether to run them sequential or parallel, you will do them in the pipeline. Okay. What is integration runtime? What is integration runtime? It's a compute infrastructure. See, for any vehicle, engine is the main part which basically moves your vehicle into front or back. Similarly, if you want to do any kind of a data movement or if you want to execute any task, what you need? Integration runtime. Okay, it's a compute infrastructure which is used to execute tasks. Okay, next, triggers. Triggers are another way to run pipeline. So you are creating a pipelines. If you want to run those pipelines, you need to use a triggers. Triggers are another way to run a pipeline in automated way. Automated way are scheduled or are based on schedules. So triggers are another way to run a pipeline in automated way or based on schedules. Okay, next, transformations. So what is transformation? So transformations are a result. So transformations, how to define is if your task output is transformations, how to define. Okay, so transformation you can say in this way: if you want to make any changes in the data, or you can say transformations in the data, we need to use transformations. Examples, if you take example, you'll get more clarity. Example, you will use a select transformation for selecting particular columns. You have 100 columns, you want to take only 10 columns, you use select for selecting required columns. You want to add a new column, derived column transformation. Okay. You want to union two tables, use union. You want to split one table data into two tables, use conditional split. You want to read the data, use source transformation. You want to write the data, use sync transformation. You want to join two tables, use join transformation, and so on. You will have the transformation. Now, what is data flow? Data flow debug. So, data flow debug is creating Spark cluster which runs our data transformations. Okay, so these are the main components you need to know before we start our data flows. So Anybody have any doubt on any of these components? So I'm repeating. Linked service is a connection. You will connect to it. Then let's say very simple. From your mobile, you want to share one of the audio file or video file or one picture to another mobile. So first one is you will enter your PIN and you will connect to your mobile. Okay. Then data set. You will select. You will have 100 of photos. You need to select a particular photo. That is a data set you will use to select particular photo. Activity. So what you want to do with that photo? You want to share it with somebody, you want to copy into another folder, or you want to delete it, or you want to edit that photo. So now those are the tasks you need to do. So if you want to do multiple files, if you want to copy at a time, if you want to copy one after the another, if you want to define some kind of a logic, how they should be copied or how they should be deleted, you can use a kind of a pipeline. Okay, so for deleting, we need some person who can able to delete option you are using, right? Similarly, here you need an integration runtime which basically do all the things whatever you are saying. Now let's say daily I want to delete the files which I have taken yesterday. So today automatically file should be deleted, yesterday files. Tomorrow yesterday file should be deleted. Something like that. Tomorrow means today file should be deleted and so on. If you want to do something, you want to automate it, you want to run the job for every you want to run a job every day morning. Okay, morning 4 o'clock, you can use simply triggers. Okay, you can use a triggers which basically runs your pipeline. Next, transformations. So transformation means, as of now we are talking about all these things, but let's say you have a data you read, you need to select particular columns, you want to add a new column, you want to add two tables, like that. If you want to do anything, that is a transformations. After transformation, so you want to run this transformation, so we need a Spark cluster, because remember two things you need to differentiate here. Till here pipeline, okay, all these pipelines activities basically run by integration runtime. Only the data transformations will run by data flow debug. Okay, data flow debug will run our data transformations. Okay, everybody understood? Data transformations who will execute? Data flow debug. Data flow debug means Spark cluster. Who is going to run? Spark cluster is going to run. Clear to all of you?
Yes.
Fine. Now I'll show you. So all these things I'll show you so that you will have some clarity. Okay, let's say, yeah, I'm just moving on to the data factory. So first thing is you need to go to the portal.azure.com to access any Azure services. So in this, okay, here what you need is you need to create a data factory. From here, create a data factory, go to data factories, create data factory, click create to create a new data factory. So subscription is for making the payment for the usage of this data factory. Let's say now we have rental cycles and all will be there in Bangalore, but I have not seen in Hyderabad. In Bangalore, right, rental cycles, rental bikes, everything will be there. So you just take a bike or cycle for rent, you use for 1 hour and return to them. So you have to pay only for that 1 hour. Similarly, you are taking this data factory, so you are creating this data factory under free trial. If you use a 1 hour from this free trial, so in this free trial I have 6,800. So for this 1 hour, there will be charges. They will deduct, they'll cut the amount from this total amount. They will keep remaining amount in our subscription. Okay, that is one way. So what is resource group? Resource group is basically a grouping of resources. So you're trying to create a group of resources. Let's say, so for one of the environment, you want to group all the required resources. Okay, you want to do one kind of a task. For that particular task, okay, for that particular task, whatever, let's say I want to operate my laptop, what are the things you need? You need a cooling system, you need a internet, you need a power supply, you need a better security, you need a physical computer. Okay, to maintain physical computer you need these four things, a dependency like that. If you want to create all the things that you need, all the dependencies that you want to create for particular task, so you maintain everything in a one group. See, let's say I created one WhatsApp group for CV29. Why? To keep all the relevant people in the groups so that I can able to deliver a common message. Okay, simple like that. If you want to group all the Azure resources, you need to create a resource. Okay, so here the resource group name I'll say Cloud Pandit-Arch. What is the name of data factory? Cloud Pandit ADF V2 1207. Okay. Cloud Pandit EDF V2 1207. Region is East US, version is V2. So region is nothing but a, so Microsoft has having different regions. So you can able to put it in India, okay, see, Central India. You want to go with the US, you can go with US. If you want to go with UK, you can go with UK and so on. And wherever you want to go and create this data factory, you can create data factory. Git configuration, configure Git later. Okay, click review the script. Create it. The data factory is created. Go to resource. So here you have open to open Azure data factory. Click on open. Okay, now come to manage tab. So here you see linked service. Let's say I want to connect to the data lake storage Gen 2. So you just create like this. So LS linked service for ADLS Gen 2. Just choose subscription. You need to select one of the storage. Okay, so you can just choose one of the storage. Let's say we will go with MS Ready storage one test connection. See, connection is successful. You just have to see. So maybe I am not sure how they have set it up. So far not test 2. So you just select any storage account and test the connection. Connection will be successful. You can create it. So this is how you can able to create the connection to your storages. Okay. So now let's say come to author. I want to read this particular data. So click new data set. So you connected to data lake storage Gen 2. So you also need to read data from Gen 2. Go to Gen 2. What type of data you have? Let's say CSV data. ES for ADLS Gen 2. So this is the linked service. Browse it. See, before I go and check the data, what I am checking here, I am using what? I'm using, what is this? What is this?
Link service.
Linked service. So this is the linked service. Okay. So before you create a data set, you are using the linked service. Okay, browse it. You don't have any data in it. So now I'll just go to the storage. I'll upload some data. So where is storage is? Go to the storage account. So if you want to search anything from the Azure portal, you search here. Okay, formula test 2. Okay, so in the storage, you need to go to containers. Here you can see you don't have anything here. You just create a global. So go inside global container, click upload to upload some data. Let's say you take one of this file. Let's see, upload this. Okay, so data is available here. Data is available here. Now you browse it. Still you are not getting.
You have created wrong. You selected storage wrong.
Formula test 2. Which one you selected? Formula test 2 only, right? What wrong? So just browse it. Fine. So just click OK. I'll tell you. After click on OK, just click browse again. So see global. Under that create that CSV file is there. Just take it. It has the first row as header. So set first row as header because first row is a column name. It's not a data. So you want to see the file data. You can see here preview data. Here credit ID, credit type, credit name, credit score. These are the header names. This is the data. Okay, close this. Come here. So this is the data you have read it using the data set. So first I have shown you linked service for connecting. So data set we are using for reading the data. So next thing is we need to go with the one by one we will go. Okay. So linked service data sets are completed. Now you need to go with the transformations. You need to go with the transformations. So what is transformation? Whatever data you read, that data you want to use and you want to maybe select only whatever columns you need. You add the new column based on the direct column transformation and all. Okay. So for that, what you need is you need a data flow. See a data flow. Click on this new data flow. Okay. In this, first thing is source. So source, you need to select the data set, which is your source. So in this data set, I have my data, whatever I want to read. Okay. So I just select it. So this is one of the data transformation. Let's say I want to see other transformation. Join is a transformation. Conditional split, exist, union, lookup, direct column, select, aggregate, surrogate key, pivot, unpivot, window, track, external column. Okay, flatten, parse, stringify, filter, sort, alter, assert, flowlet, sync. So you have different transformation that you can able to use. Okay, now one by one we will go. Okay, now I just have used the transformation. To execute this data transformation, what we need?
Data.
Data
Data
flow debug. Press plug.
Data.
flow debug we need. Very good. So you just have to bring the next thing is data flow debug. What you need? You need a data flow debug. So come here. So where you can see is data flow debug, you see on top here. Are you seeing on top of this data flow debug? Click on this, click OK. The data flow debug will be available. once the data flow debug is available, you can just run this transformation and you can preview the data. So to preview data, what is the output of this transformation? If you want to see, you can see that. So please wait while debug session starts. So it is saying, please wait until data flow debug is started. So now data flow debug is available. Click refresh. So total how many rows? 12 rows. See, total is 12 rows. How many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. Okay. So if you want to make these column names available to next activity, you can go here and see. You need to, so in inspect, you should be able to see the column names. Why you are not able to see column names? Come to projection. Okay, click import projection. Import projection means you are bringing the column names. You are bringing the schema of the file. Okay, credit ID not a short. It should be integer data type. Short means very small data. Okay, that's why. So I'll just go with integer. Card type and credit name is string. Now come to inspect. See, column names are visible here. Now come to data preview. You are able to see data here. Clear? So now I am able to execute this data transformation using what? Data flow debug. Now let's say I want to add a new column. So you use derived column. Derived column I just added. Now what I want to do, I want to add a column called discount. Let's see. Shailaja, go mute please. You people should check. Lot of disturbance, you people are not observing. Shailaja, go mute. People will not. Their link system there and they will be somewhere. Okay. Open expression builder. So now let's say go back to the source transformation. Here you see if the card type is master, I want to give 10% discount. If the card type is visa, I want to give it 20% of the discount. Okay. Now come here. So here I'm saying if card type equal to master, give 10%. Otherwise, for all other people, give 20%. Simple. That's all. Okay. Got it? If card type is master, if it is a master, if this is true, put 10%. If this is not true, then put 20%. Okay. Save and finish. Come to data preview. Refresh this. So I'm running the
spelling
result.
mistakes of it, sir.
Huh?
Spelling mistakes, sir. If there's a spelling mistake.
Where spelling mistake?
If, sir, just now you have if equal to 10% master.
No, it is not a spelling mistake. It is opened only. It is.
Huh?
So just now you have keep it if equal to 10%, give 10 master equal to 10%. In that if spelling is wrong, sir. IIF.
Spelling is not wrong, sir. So if we say it's a advanced if, okay. So that if is different, this if is different. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. So master is 10%. You can see here 10%. Visa, you can see it's a 20%. Okay. Wherever you have a master, it's a 10%. Wherever you have a visa, 20%. Now let's say visa cards and master cards, I want to split. I want to split it. Okay. How to split? Click on this. Conditional split it. So based on the condition, I want to split. So this is the master data. This is a visa data. Add a plus. Okay, remove this default. Here I'll say visa data. I will say it's a master data. Put here open expression builder again. So card type is equal to master. Then you bring the data into this flow, master data. So if the card type is, if card type is equal to visa, you bring the data into this flow. Come to data preview, refresh this. See here, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. Why only 10%? It's a master data. Master data, we have only 10%. Okay. Next, this is visa. Why visa? Because it's a 20%. It's a 20%. Got it? It's a 20%. That's why it's a visa. That's why it's a 20%. Okay. So master data, visa data, we have split it now. So in this only master data will come. In this only visa data will come. Clear? Now I want to write this data. See, friends, I will not be able to tell you like this. Trinath, go mute. What you people will think, I don't know. This is a sync. Sync for what? For writing master data. So now you create a new data set to tell you where you want to write this data. Click new data set. I want to write data in same storage. Data lake storage as a CSV. TS for ADLS Gen 2. It's a master data. So browse it, select global. Under global, I'll create a master data folder. Under master data folder, I want to write this data. So click OK. So this folder is not available. Select none. Click OK. So now Spark basically spread entire data into multiple files. But I need to tell, hey, don't create a multiple files. Write entire data into a single file. Output to a single file. So this you should not do in real time. Okay, but I am doing here. Set single partition. So what is the output file name? Master data.cs. Okay. So now you see here master data I have taken and I'm writing into the sync master data. In sync master data, I'm creating a file called master data.csv. Okay. Similarly, visa data also I want to write. Click here. Sync transformation. In sync, what you want to do? In this sync is for what? Visa data. So click in new data set for data lake store Gen 2 as a CSV. gen to the sync. Okay, DS for ADLS gen to visa data. Linker services this first was that browse it global and so create that CSV. Here I want to create a visa data folder. Under visa data folder, I want to load the data. Click none. Click OK. Okay. So now master data I have written into master, visa data I am writing into the visa. But here also I want to write entire data into a single file. So that's why I'll say output to a single file visa data dot CSV. So I'm writing my visa data into a single file. You can also preview what data you are basically writing into this. You are not writing. It will just tell you what data it may write it. Okay. So this is the only visa data with some discount column it is bringing. Okay. So all these are the transformation. So to execute this transformation, from where you will execute using data flow debug, you are basically previewing. But if you really want to run this particular task, data flow task, what you need? If you want to run a actual data flow activity, you need a pipeline. So next one is you need a pipeline. So I'm creating a pipeline. Click here, click new pipeline. Okay. In this pipeline, now I want to execute a task. What task? Task is nothing but a activity you want to execute. Which activity? Data flow job I want to run. So there is a something called data flow activity. So bring the data flow activity to call this particular data flow. So select the data flow. What is the data flow name? Data flow 1. So if you want to rename this, you can able to rename. Okay. So this is the name I have given for my data flow. Now come to pipeline one. See automatically the name is selected here. Just select this. Okay. So I want to run this particular data flow. So inside pipeline I use the data flow activity. So using this data flow activity, I'm calling this all data flow transformations. Okay. Now, where is integration runtime? Basically, integration runtime I have not mentioned, but integration runtime will come before linker service. See here, go to manage, click on this linker service here, connect via integration runtime, because whatever you are creating, everything you created using the integration runtime. Okay. Now, activity is basically data flow activity you are using to execute your data flow job. So this, if you want to run it immediately, okay. So 1 second, this is already done. This is already completed. You see here transformation. Now everything is done. Now what you want to do? You have a activity that you want to run. Let's say this particular pipeline you want to run. So you want to run now, or you want to run at particular time. Let's say I want to run now. Okay, add trigger. Oh, sorry. So you can simply click debug. Okay. One thing I forgot to do, come here, visa. So whenever you are writing entire output to a single file, friends, see what happened today, I don't know. Chinmay Dalai, Trinag, Sailaja, I need to tell one by one or what? You people are creating a lot of disturbance. So basically you are writing into a single file. So whenever you are writing into a single file, you need to set the partitions to single. Why you need to put the partitions to single? Because you have 100 records. Those 100 records will be splitted into 4 parts or 8 parts, doesn't matter. Let's imagine for easy calculation, 4 parts, your total 100 records are deleted. So out 100 records are deleted, 100 records are splitted into 4 parts. In each part, you have 25 records, meaning in each partition, you have 25 records. Now, when you execute Spark code, all these 25 records will create a one file. But now what we are telling is don't create a one file for each partition, create a single file. Then what it has to do, all the 4 partitions data, it has to club it, join, and it has to put it in a single partition. That's why the single partition option must be enabled whenever you have chosen the output to a single file. Now come to pipeline 1. Now if you want to run the pipeline immediately, you can click on debug. If you want to schedule it to run at particular time, you can use the triggers. So this is the last option, whatever we discussed, that is the triggers. So this is the triggers. Now data flow job is running. If you see here, basically if everything is done, it has to create a 2 folders. Just create a 2 folders. What time this file is created? 7:50 to 40 seconds. See now, 7:50 to some seconds. Okay. But just now this file got created with the master data.csv. In this we have only master data, master records with a discount column which we have added in the data transformation. Now go back, Visa data folder, click on this, edit. So this is the Visa data. Only Visa records are there with the 20% discount column. So now data came, you have read this file and you have done data transformation right into different folders. Now, in which language this data flow code is generating? Tell me. In which language?
Jason.
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 Spark.
Jason. So data flows basically execute Spark code. Okay, clear everybody? Okay, so data flow basically generate the Spark code. In Spark basically it uses Scala language. Which language it will use? It will use a Scala language. So here it will look like a JSON, but the actual coding is from here. Oh shit, 1 second. Oh, sorry. I'm just opening the pipeline. So you need to see the Spark code in the data flow here. You just open the script. See, so this is basically a Scala code. Okay, it uses what? Scala code, Spark Scala. Okay, source, you read these 4 columns. Then so direct column transformation, if card type is equal to master 10%, other is 20%. Then conditional split. So card type is Visa, split it. Card type is master, is split it. Okay, that's all. Simple transformations we have done. Clear?
So PySpark is a language name, right?
PySpark means Spark, we will write it in a Python. When somebody says Spark means Spark we are writing in a scalar. If somebody says Spark R, they are writing Spark in R language. Okay, so let me tell you, if anybody say we are using Spark, Spark means they are using a default language called Scala. If anybody is saying Spark means Spark, they are writing in a Python. If anybody is saying Spark R, so they are writing the Spark in a R. If anybody is saying Spark SQL, okay, so then they are writing the Spark in SQL. Clear?
Yeah, the Scala, Python, R, SQL, these are the languages. But what is meant by Spark? It's an engine or what?
Spark is a engine. Okay, suppose I need to tell to this engine, hey engine, you do this and do that. How you will give that instructions? Instructions you need to pass it through this language.
Okay, in
Okay.
.NET, just like a CLR is the engine, and the .NET and VB.NET, Java is the language like that.
Yeah. So Java's, yeah,
Apache.
Scala, Python, all these are just a languages.
Right.
Spark is a framework. It's a kind of a engine. Cluster group of missions will be there which understands whatever instructions you are submitting. So based on your instructions, it will execute.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Next. So what is data flow? What is data flow?
The process where actual data is processing.
Transforming the data.
So remember, so this data flow is nothing but a visually designed data transformations in Azure Data Factory. What you are saying, visually designed data transformations? Because you are not writing any code, everything through drag and drops. Just visually you are designing all this transformation, isn't it? Clear or not? Clear. So
Yeah.
all this transformation you are just designing through UI. You are not writing any code. So data flow, Azure data flow is a visually designed data transformations in the Azure Data Factory. So a data flows can be designed without writing any code. So basically you don't need to write the code here. Everything you are designing through the transformation, through the visually designed transformation without writing any code. So all this transformation you can able to develop it completely based on the UI. Everybody understood? So where this data transformation will execute on the Spark cluster. Remember, so these data flows will execute on a Spark cluster. Who will create Spark cluster? When you turn on this data flow debug, so Spark cluster will be created in backend for you. But what is the use of this integration runtime? Integration runtime will start the job, that's all. Just it will, so integration runtime will start the job, and the actual job execution will happen on the Spark cluster. Try to understand the difference between integration runtime and Spark cluster. Data flow debug here. So data flow debug will start the Spark cluster. On that Spark cluster, all the transformations will execute. So to start this data flow, we are basically using integration runtime. We are using integration runtime, which basically starts our data flow job. Okay, once our job is started, where our data flow job is running on the data flow job is running on Spark cluster.
Spark cluster is nothing but the debug window.
Yeah, Spark cluster is nothing but a data flow debug. Yes.
So
Okay.
if we disable that data flow debug option, then what will happen? It won't execute in the
No.
Spark.
No. See, What? Can you repeat once again?
If we disable that data flow debug in the data flow, not here, in the data flow, then what will happen?
Wherever, doesn't matter whether you are turning off here or there, both are same, okay? No, now you can't execute anything, so you can't preview data, see?
But it
Turn
will
on data flow.
But if we execute by trigger or from pipeline, it will execute successfully, right?
No, wait, I'm telling you. So first thing is data preview is not working. Second thing, click debug. What it is saying, turn on data flow debug. So even when you are debugging, what it is saying, first turn on data flow debug. But earlier, as the data flow debug is already on, it just ran the job. But now what it is saying, turn on data flow debug, it is saying. Clear?
Clear. But if we trigger the job, or if you schedule the job, still it's required data flow debug?
Not yes, it is required. See, data flow debug is required if you want to run a pipelines here. But if you want to run a pipelines, I'll tell you there are two ways you will have. So one is, see, when you just click OK. So what happens is basically why it is not asking. Basically, it takes 4-5 minutes. Why it takes 4-5 minutes? The reason is, as the data flow debug you have not turned on, what happens is, yeah, 1 second, I think it may finish quickly also. Maybe this time they have changed all the approaches. So two things, carefully observe here. When you turn on data flow debug and run the pipelines, already cluster is already available, it will run immediately. Okay, but if this is turned off and if you trigger, what happens is new cluster will be created at runtime. New Spark cluster will be created at runtime. And once the new Spark cluster is available, then this particular code will execute and view the result. That's why when you are running a pipeline without using data flow debug, it takes more time. Clear? Got it? Because what is happening, if you use a data flow debug, existing already running cluster you are using to execute, so already available, it will finish the job immediately. If you say without using data flow debug, means it has to create a new Spark cluster. That's why it takes more time.
So
Next.
once the job is completed, data flow is completed, will that cluster be automatically stopped?
Will be terminated.
Terminated.
This year, whatever is there, that will be terminated automatically. But whatever you have in this data flow debug, that will be available for 1 hour. You need to put that here. You see, here you need to put how much time it should be available. 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours. If you say 1 hour, if you are not using data flow debug for 1 hour, it will go to turned off automatically. Clear?
Yep.
Next.
And one more question. In the debug window, we return a code, right? Master, if it is MasterCard, then only it will take 20% like that. So if it is any typo in it, then will it take the language? If something, one letter missed, like S or something got missed in the master, then how is the situation?
Your transformation will fail. Your data flow will fail.
Okay.
And in error message, you can clearly see why this is failed. Okay.
Got it.
Next.
So
Malaya,
sorry.
output a single file, that option we used, right? What we use in real time?
Real time, we'll just leave it as this. So it will create so many files in a folder. Okay. Because it's a big data, you should not keep it in a single file. Terabytes of data, you should not keep it in a single file, right? So it will create a multiple files and it will keep it in the multiple files.
Got it. Thank you.
So you have mentioned the 1 hour to keep on that cluster. So in real time, means what is the scenario you have to keep?
How to?
Means you have mentioned that 1 hour, right, for to live that cluster. So in real time, what is the scenario means? How many hours we need to keep live that
See,
cluster?
in real time also you need to keep it less time only. If you keep on using, it will be available. If you're not using, if you simply keep running for 8 hours without using, after evening 7 o'clock everybody will leave the office. If you keep the time to leave is 4 hours, what is the use of running a cluster for 4 hours without using? You will be charged. That's why keep it 1 hour. So if nobody is using for 1 hour, it will be terminated and it will save you the cost. Okay.
Okay.
So in real time, we will set up is active flag to 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Yes, the minimum time is available here is 1 hour. That's why we are putting 1 hour. But in Databricks, we will have an option to set up for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. If nobody is using cluster for 15 minutes, you can turn off. So those options we will use in Databricks. Basically, you can use for 15, 20 minutes in real time. So here the minimum time is 1 hour. You need to use 1 hour. Next.
So
Malay, can you
why
please
this
show the sorry? Can you please show the split task again?
Split is this one only. You can split as many splits you want to do. So you have multiple countries, master like let's say India, US, UK. You just put UK. You just add Singapore. You have add condition. Okay, country called Singapore, country called UK, country called US, country called India, something like that. Got it?
So the transformation is split, right?
Conditional split. See here.
Okay.
Transformation names will be there here. First tab. See derive count settings, conditional split settings, sync settings, like that. You say lookup, so lookup setting like that. So based on the first tab, you will come to know which transformation it is.
This transformation will be same for the every project. First one is like derived and the next the same way, conditional like that.
Ashwita, you see, you need to think practically. This is just we are giving some some knowledge, some basic understanding I'm giving. So tomorrow I'll start with the actual pipelines and all. So and don't think that whatever we are doing exactly same will be there in real time. So you can do in a different ways. You need to decide based on your requirement which transformation you need to use. Try to understand what is the use of this transformation. This derived column transformation for adding column, conditional split for splitting the data. So I have given here by card type, maybe by country. Like that you can split here, you can split it country equal to India, country equal to UK and so on. Okay, practically you need to think.
Okay, the source and sync in between that, any kind of transformations we can do based on our
Yes.
project.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
Next.
Malay,
Malaya,
the
how
cluster that is created will be having a default configuration, or we can also configure as per our requirement?
Which one?
I mean, the cluster that will be created automatically, right? When we
Third one, you can see here the default one is 4+4 driver cores. So there is no option to edit. You can't change it.
Okay, yeah.
Think what you can do is
once it is terminated, how can we restart it?
Here you can
Yes,
able
we
to
can
see. Okay.
Yes.
Next.
Once it is terminated, how can we restart it, Malaya?
How to restart? Which one you want to restart?
Spark cluster.
If you want to restart, you turned off and turn on. That's all. The example you turned off, it is running. Turn off and turn on. That will basically restart. Restart means that is the restart in data flow. Next.
Malaya, we will be having the partition files, right? How this partition is defined? Like, is there any amount of data size it is deriving?
Not data says randomly to take.
Okay.
So that's why sometimes you may have issues. So whenever you have issues, you need to adjust those partitions again.
So generally we do partition by columns concept, right? Is that available in this data flows?
This is different. See, that partition is different, but this Spark partition is different. See, partition by country, if you say each country data will create a one partition. That partitioning is different, Spark partitioning is different.
Gotcha.
Spark
Okay.
will randomly split the data for achieving the parallelism.
Yeah.
Next.
Malaya, we used a derived column, right, to add a new column. So to transform an existing column, like we need to change the date format, and within that column.
Same data flow is.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so you also asked if my computation is happening in Spark cluster, what will IR do here? IR will just stay submitting. It is dispatching the job. That's all. It will just start the job. Okay. Usual error people face while start doing data flows. Usual error people face while doing data flow. Usual error means if you write wrong logics or you have issues in the data, you may get error. Otherwise, you will not get error. Usual errors means I don't see usual errors. Only errors with the logics, or if you are designed wrong, maybe your logic is wrong or something, you may have a data issues. Okay, so your expected output, you may not get it. You need to debug where exactly the problem wrong. Next.
So can you please put my name into the right, because I'm not getting this updated link. Either I ping you, you are busy, so you are not responding. I need to ping to other one. Then
How many batches you are attending per month? First thing.
Sorry.
So in which batch you joined and how many batches you are attending? I'm not able to track. So a lot of people are there in CB28. So one or two people will attend. So you people will respond one day. You people will not respond one day. See, link I changed few days back and you are coming today. Meaning you are not attending classes daily.
No, I'm attending, but I'm not getting this updated link over there.
Yes, I'll talk to you because we need to see. So when you joined, because I see you are in since long time you are in that group. So I need to see there are 2-3 people who are basically working it. So I'll talk to you.
Sure,
so
sir.
today.
I'll just give me your flexible time. I'll give a call.
Sure. Next, rest of the paper. Any other questions? Okay. Good. If no questions, tomorrow we'll start with the data validation. Okay. Thank you.